It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Tuesday, December 19th edition. I am Hudson, joined, as I so often am, by my friend Isaiah. We never really introduce ourselves on this show anymore.
You're right. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, what hubris. What big egos we have to just assume the people tuning in are familiar with who we are.
It's funny because you say my name a lot. I never say your name.
Could be people right now that just found out my name is Hudson. They've listened to 100 episodes, and this is their first introduction to who I actually am.
Well, today on the Worst of the Right podcast,
starring Hudson and Isaiah,
we talk about some of the best Christmas movie characters of all time.
Yes. We also discuss why people today are mad at Taylor Swift and, to a lesser extent, Travis Kelce, and the gifts you know you're going to get every year for Christmas.
We wrap it up by talking about the audacity of the man and how Hudson, I think, they may be bluffing.
Love this one. Great show. Enjoy. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
What's your favorite Christmas movie character? Started this all out by saying Max from The Grinch. Hard to beat. Just lovable. Lovable. What does he do wrong? Nothing. He's mistreated. That's about it. People are texting in. Chad kicked us off by saying John McClane from Die Hard. Okay, but who's your favorite Christmas movie character, though, is what we wanted to know.
That's one of the really popular choices.
Yeah.
On all the lists, John McClane is a top 10er, so that's a good one.
And then Frog, Whitey, and Adam Sandler's main character from 8 Crazy Nights. I'll allow it. Hanukkah movie. You're still good to go on that one. It's a good, underrated choice. Adam says Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation. He says, it brings me joy when I see him lose his mind because I've been there. Well, we know how Isaiah feels about Clark Griswold.
Iconic character.
Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, also pretty lovable, right?
One of my choices.
A lovable doofus. Do you know what this is? Emily said Pete from Santa and Pete.
Came out in 1999.
Oh, so yeah, you're familiar? Is that like, is that a Disney? No. Is that a Nickelodeon thing?
I don't think so.
Oh, because there's a show called Pete and Pete. Here's a good one. Tom. Arnold Schwarzenegger from Jingle All the Way. Now we're talking.
Now we're thinking.
Now, that's when we were looking for Christmas movie characters. That's what we were looking for. Susanna says she doesn't really like a lot of Christmas movies, so she'll go with The Grinch.
It's a good choice.
She also says The Grinch jazzercises, and she jazzercises, so...
You have so much in common.
You do have a lot.
You don't like Christmas movies, and you both jazzercise.
Yeah. What else you got for me, Isaiah? You've never gotten your chance to answer.
Some of the other ones that I like, obviously I'm a big fan of The Grinch. Cousin Eddie was up there. I like all the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies.
Yeah.
So him and Scott Calvin, I love those movies.
He is usually pretty funny and throughout that. Yeah.
Other ones I considered, I liked Jack Skellington.
That's
from
a good
A Nightmare
choice.
Before Christmas.
Yes.
And then if I had to do one more honorable mention, probably an iconic character for me, Cindy Lou Who.
Ooh, yes. Very wholesome. Very innocent. I like, who else should I mention? You know, I don't even know his name, but whoever the manager guy is at the Gimbals in Elf, great character.
Yep.
Elf is full of great characters, to say the least. And I don't know. Who do you think is the best Christmas movie Santa Claus?
Tim Allen.
Going with that one, huh?
I still lean that one.
It's hard to go against that, right? Because
some people might say Violent Night if you really like Violent Night.
Yeah, that's true. David Harbour in that, obviously a very different take on Santa Claus, but a good choice nonetheless. And I think a lot of people might say, whatever. Ed Asner is the guy who plays it, recently passed away. In Elf is a real good take on Santa Claus too, because it just feels like what you might expect Santa Claus if you actually met him, what you might expect him to be like. 8772 Radio U. You're always welcome to text in your favorite Christmas movie characters. Melanie chiming in with Linus from Charlie Brown. He kind of sums it all up, gives you the real good summation at the end of the thing. So I like that. Good choice. 8772 Radio U. Text in with your faves.
The stories you love with the opinions you hate. The Riot Radio U.
A surprising amount of people are open to the idea of having multiple partners, dating multiple people, polygamy. Now, it is important to note, it says a surprising number of people, mostly men.
That's nothing to joke about.
It's not a joke. These numbers are real. From the UK, about 1 out of every 3 men is open to supposedly a polygamous relationship, whereas only 11% of women are interested in the same. Yeah, about a third of that. A third of men is interested. A third of that third of women is interested.
Well, I would say here, there's no 1 in 3 men, no chance, right?
I'm sure a lot of men would say, you know what I think is that a lot of men would
give it to them.
In a survey, they'd be like, yeah, I would love to date multiple women. And but then when a gal they actually like is like, would you want to date other women? And like in a, would you? And
what would you say? Like
he would go, no.
Yeah.
Of course not.
So you're telling me, so like if Angela comes to you, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, Hudson, would you ever want to date other women? You would say, well, come on, you take it seriously. What would you say?
I would say no.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
To me, obviously, there's the tradition side of it, but also, don't you think that it would diminish the meaning of your relationship with the person that you're actually with if you're starting being with multiple people?
Yeah.
Then it throws a whole bunch of monkey wrenches in. So, but I'm not going to fool myself about the mind of a man. I believe that a lot of guys, you ask them in a survey, they're going to say yes. But the answer should be no. You don't know what you're getting, what you're asking for there. Be careful what you wish for.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Not for me. I know that some people's cups, some people say like, oh no, we can make it work.
We're mature. I don't like hearing that. The people that that are in polygamous relationships, that they seem to be above you.
Oh yeah.
They're like, you just can't handle it.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm normal. You are the ones that are wild. Stop trying to make me feel bad.
Yeah, I would say for me, yet again, I'm cool with just the one.
Yeah, 1 is enough. 1 is enough.
Sometimes 1's more than enough.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
If podcast awards were ever a thing, this show wouldn't win any. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
It brings me no pleasure to inform you that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are at it again. By it, I mean traveling. I don't know if you've seen this, but apparently their relationship is an environmental disaster for our planet. Check this out. Based on statistics tracked by Taylor Swift Jet's Instagram account, which is it's an Instagram that's dedicated just to finding out where Taylor Swift's planes are flying all the time. She put out on her trips a total of 138 tons of CO2 emissions, which is equivalent to be canceled out. It would take her planting 2,282 trees and allowing those trees to grow for 10 years to offset the environmental damage that her planes have supposedly done. And that's not all. It also states that she's used the amount of energy equivalent to 17 homes in an entire year. The electricity used by 27 homes, give or take, in an entire year. Does this bother you?
I have mixed feelings on it.
Yeah.
One part of me.
One, you hate the environment, but two, you hate Taylor Swift.
No. One part of me is like, if you have the money for it, who am I to say, don't fly your personal jet?
Yeah.
As if I am some goody boy who's doing everything right for the environment, which I know I'm not.
Yeah. I know
So
you're always
who am
throwing
I?
cans out your windows when you're driving.
I do not litter. Do not litter. But am I might not be a huge part of the problem. But am I a big part of the solution? I haven't been thus far.
Yeah. So who are you to judge?
So for anybody on their high horse saying that she shouldn't be taking her plane, let me ask you this. How many trees have you planted today?
Yeah. That's a good point. I feel that now Taylor Swift routinely over the past several years comes in near the top of celebrities that produce a lot of emissions as far as CO2 goes. So, you know, she has a track record of this, but I also feel that this is the type of thing that it's just all based on you're only upset if you don't like the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that are complaining about this, they don't like Taylor Swift anyways, and this is one more reason to be like, see, look, she sucks. But I could tell you, if I told you that somebody that you like was doing something similar with their private planes, you would not have would bat an eye. You would be like, whatever, it's their private plane, which typically I feel is, I don't know, I care about the environment too, but a private plane's a private plane. Now, her representatives defend her by saying, at least in the past, they've said, well, these are her private planes, but she loans them out. So she's letting her friends fly, as if that means that it's not hurting the environment. I don't, like either they're hurting the environment or not. It doesn't matter who's inside.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Still a plane flying around.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, she's not the one flying in it. All right. Take it easy on her. It's her friends.
If her friends want to pollute the environment,
that's different.
With CO2.
Come on.
Yeah. Blame them, not her. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I just don't understand the environment enough to really, truly be upset as I should. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it.
Just plant some more trees, clearly. I mean, I think maybe Taylor should plant some trees.
Yeah.
Has she posted on Instagram planting trees recently?
Maybe it's not even on her. If every Swiftie just planted a tree, boom, that'd be more than enough to offset her emissions. So
it's pretty easy to plant a tree, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Sometimes in my yard, they grow by accident, which I let them live for the environment.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, the holidays are almost here, and I bet you for just about every person, you can think to yourself right now, when I open presents on Christmas morning, I know I'm going to get blank. What is the blank? 877-2-RADIO-U. What's that thing you get every year? It might be from one specific person every year, too. I always get this from this person. What is it? Let us know at 877-2-RADIO-U.
For me, there's many things. My mom does a good job of having certain things that she gets us every year.
Yep.
Underwear.
Always
socks,
need those.
A lot of hygiene stuff.
Okay.
Deodorant, colognes.
Toothpaste.
Sometimes, if we're lucky, she'll toss in a teeth whitening kit.
Ooh.
That's always a good gift every year. I look forward to.
They're
not cheap.
They're not cheap. That's why I can't buy them.
New toothbrushes.
Uh-huh. You know how often you're supposed to change your toothbrush?
I think it's like every 3 months.
I don't know. I feel like whatever I think it is, it's more often than that. So it's probably like every month.
Probably.
You probably, you can't go wrong by changing it more often either. Like, what's the worst that could happen? 8772 Radio U. Is that the kind of stuff you know you're definitely going to be getting on Christmas morning, even though it's all supposed to be a surprise? What's that thing that you always know you're going to find under the tree or in your stocking every time Christmas rolls around? 8772 Radio U. We'll see what people are saying coming up next.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
Talking the Christmas gift you know you're going to get every year. The same thing. It's probably from your mom, right? That thing that there's just a few things that you know you have such assurance that every year you'll find them under the tree. Isaiah was saying a lot of, like toothpaste,
hygiene,
deodorant, cologne, that kind of stuff from his mom. What's yours? 8772 Radio U. Esther says makeup every year. That's interesting. I actually have a survey here of the most likely things to receive every year. Makeup did come in at number 4. Pretty surprising.
Well, I think it's because makeup, you know exactly what you need.
Yeah.
So you can tell your mom, this is the makeup I use, and it's an easy get for them.
Yeah, that makes...
Because there's no way to go outside the box. Like a lot of times, like with clothes, people don't always want you to tell them exactly what clothes you want because they feel like they could go outside the box and find something you'll like.
Yeah.
With makeup, there's only certain things that you even can use.
Right.
That'll match like your skin color and things like that. And so that's an easy one that mom or dad or boyfriend can just go and buy because there's no way for them to work outside the box.
Wow, I didn't know you knew so much about makeup.
You know me, brother.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Heather says, just like you said this underwear. Always know you're going to get underwear from a certain family member probably loves stocking you up on the underwear. Let's see. Oh, we have Susanna here who says books. Always know you're going to get a book. You must be a big reader then. That'd be tough. You always. Why do they keep giving me books? They know I don't read, right?
They're trying to get you to read.
What message are they trying to send?
Maybe I'll get you a book this year.
Yeah. I'll tell you the top answer on the list, and this makes a lot of sense, although nobody's texted it in yet, is candy. Candy or chocolate, which is true. Yeah.
Interesting.
47% of people in the survey said that they know they're always going to get candy every year. That is true. I don't always know where it comes from, but somehow I always wind up with Reese's Christmas trees. I guess it's Santa. Santa's doing it probably. Just showing up, filling the stocking with a bunch of candy and chocolate, which who's upset about that? Nobody. Some of the other ones at the top of the list, something homemade came in at number 2. You ever get any homemade gifts?
Not really.
Maybe that's people with kids. They like get the macaroni art or something.
Yeah, I don't get anything homemade, I don't think.
This one makes a lot of sense. Surprising that it wasn't higher on the list. A gift card or money. You don't know who always is good, but you just know, right? In this day and age, odds are a gift card's coming from somebody. So
I love a good gift card.
But that was still only 46% of people saying that was something they knew they would always get. Then was makeup, books, and then like the rest of the list is all the stuff that you listed off that you get from your mom, which is like underwear, hygiene products, things of that nature.
The wild thing, this is the funniest thing. This isn't for me because my mom always gets me stuff that I want.
Yeah.
On these reoccurring gifts. Imagine if somebody got you reoccurring gifts that you didn't like, but they thought it was like their thing.
Yeah.
I can imagine this happening already. Like if you told your mom or your cousin or your uncle that you like this one thing one time, you kind of like this cologne when you were like 11 years old. And ever since then, you're now 31 years old, and your one aunt has been getting you that same Axe cologne that you're like, Suzanne, like I don't use this anymore. It's been 25 years.
A distant family, not even, it could be your aunt, but it's just somebody you don't see very often, and so they don't know you very well.
Your grandmother.
But they remember like 3 things about you.
And that's one of them. When you were 12, you loved Legos. So they keep on getting you a Lego set every year, and now you're 43.
Yeah.
And you no longer want Legos.
It may not even be like the item itself, but it's just like they get you a candle every year that's a scent that you don't care for. But how can you say that?
Because that's your thing.
Right. Yeah, every time I go to Hudson's house, he's always got a candle burning. Yeah, but not sweet pea. Not sweet pea.
And then when you open it every year, they're like, there it is. Your sweet pea candle I know you love. You know me. I got to get it for you.
The stories you love with the opinions you hate. The Riot Radio U.
You ever heard of the term doom spending?
It does sound familiar.
Doom spending, apparently a very popular trend among folks our age, Gen Z. Doom spending is the practice of spending most of your money on luxury trips, costly escapades, and impulsive delights in an effort to cope with the ever-spiraling economy, as opposed to, putting some money away for a house or for kids or for whatever else you might want to save for. Doom spending is just getting rid of all of it, spending on stuff you want now because the future's not guaranteed.
And I have seen some of my friends talking about this, not necessarily doom spending.
Yeah.
But just kind of the reason that this is happening is because home ownership and that kind of thing seems so far away from them. They're like, why am I saving in general if the home prices are going to be this expensive? I feel like I'm so far. I'm not going to be able to do it for years and years and years. Do I really want to save money now to buy a house when I'm 35? And you should.
Right.
But it's hard to.
Even if you don't buy a house when you're 35, having some extra to fall back on will feel nice.
It will.
It will. You'll be glad you did it later on in life. But it is funny. I just see this and I understand. I feel like, to me, there's just there's a tendency. You're younger. You're a little stupider. You're also a little more in the moment. I don't think it's specific to Gen Z. I just think people, when you're younger, you tend to be a little more free with your disposable income rather than putting it away. A few, I know there's several 20-somethings listening right now. They're like, I've saved. Yeah, good for you. I don't think that's what most people do. But I love how it's like here, they're blaming the economy. I didn't realize, like, we have to be the first generation that's so dialed in on the economy in our 20s. Like most people, I feel like aren't paying that much attention either until you have kids and a house. And that's when you start caring about the economy, not the other way around.
Yeah, a lot of them saying that the houses and rents and things like that, the home ownership is too expensive.
Yeah.
That's how they feel.
Well, there is a difference between maybe accepting the idea that it may never be possible for you to own a home and blowing all your money on, trips and whatever now, There's a wide gap between those two feelings and actions.
It is the truth, but at the same time, I've seen some pretty good Instagram posts.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty sweet TikToks. My friends have went some pretty cool places.
Yep.
Have I? Not so much. But they have went some cool places and done some cool things.
But think about the house you may have one day if you really try hard by the time you're 45.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.